It is time. Time to summon the evil. Time to bring forth the SPOOKYCast. Rise, my lords. The summoning is complete. It is now time for SPOOKYCast 2017. Hello, boils and ghouls. We are here in the dungeon for SPOOKYCast 2017. I, of course, am dressed up as the angry ghost of Captain Blackbeard. Or Captain Redbeard, or one of the... Bloodbeard, that's him. The angry ghost of Captain Bloodbeard. Oh, bass parts. And you, my ghoulish person, are...
The shell from hell.
The shell!
See? Look, I have a shell on.
He's
everything.
got a shell, and he's from hell. Ah, and you, this specter, this horrible visage that sits in front of us are...
Something fancy.
Something fancy. Invite him to your next dinner party, if you dare. And then, of course... To my left is...
Asian metal.
Asian metal.
Meow.
Oh! Oh!
Like World War II propaganda Asian metal.
Wait, because of this? This part?
Glasses. You look like Tojo.
And finally, the most evil ghoul joining us tonight is...
Oh, we're on me?
Yes.
Baron Terran Hell.
Baron Terran Hell.
Hellshare.
Baron Terran Timeshare.
Yeah.
The scariest 30
It's
minutes
Hellshare, the
in
timeshare
hell.
you can't opt out of.
That's right. Yes, and now it is time for our SPOOKYCast, and we have to apologize to you, boils and ghouls, because we haven't seen you in quite some time. Well, maybe we have seen you, if you're on the Patreon, because we just had an amazing... Patreon show, but before we get to that, we do have one spooky surprise to start off the SPOOKYCast with. I managed to find a bottle of the unfindable, the Droids Attack Psychobot Blood Orange APA, the very same beer that was on tap at Megadeth Power 2017. I think this is the last bottle in existence.
Worst thing ever.
Really?
Why?
What did you eat a candy corn?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the driest, grossest candy corn. You could like hurt
spooky.
somebody.
But they sell so many of those every year.
Yeah, they're just
Eat them.
Wax.
Yeah, they're just
And, like,
wax.
Put in front of you, you will eat them as well.
I just
even
did.
though you don't want to.
So let us
Okay.
open. Where'd my bottle opener go? Oh, there it is.
It's
My
haunted.
evil skull tavern bottle opener.
Yeah, that's really cold.
A Droids Attack APA. Blood orange. Ooh, blood.
This stuff is really good.
Yep. All right. So while I pour this,
I enjoyed pretty much a full tankard of that during our Mad with Power set.
yeah,
I didn't get to try this, so I'm pretty excited to get
It's really good.
Delicious.
yep. There you go.
Makes me sad that they didn't make it.
Yeah, they made the first time Droids Attack made a beer, they made 300 bottles of it because they didn't know how well it was going to sell. And this time they made 900, and Brad was really concerned about it selling and such like that. So, but yeah, it went like almost immediately. So hey, here's to Droids Attack, to Mad with Power.
Cheers, Clicky Clack.
Oh God.
As advertised.
Yep. Just as good as I remembered. It's nice. It's got a really orangey flavor to it.
But
I really.
it's yeah. To me, it's subtle, but it's still like very prominent.
Yeah. I like it.
Subtle yet prominent.
Yeah. Well, it's kind
Tacky
of
yet
true
unrefined.
because it's you can taste the orange for sure, but it's not like holy shit orange. You know.
I get that. It's
I
good.
feel like, am I on the Saints now?
Yep.
That's bad. Especially for the last one.
Uh-oh. We're getting into sports talk now. I haven't rendered an ESPN like intro logo so we can't get into sports talk. Maybe
Get some children voting keyboards up in here.
maybe next month, you know. Lord,
John, 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 John.
That's good football.
One team, you know, you gotta really watch out for these guys. He's got offensive line and a touchdown. Oh man, there's just
You could make like a gent intro, a sports gent intro.
sports gent.
You almost sound like a Bill Cosby sports guy being like, the kid!
We don't know what the jazz is all about.
He threw the football from there to there, and there wasn't a guy. That's what's called an incomplete Theo, and there's
Junior
not
Barnes.
good football.
Donkey.
To see football's like jello.
No.
I'm like Kodak film.
No. So okay. So yeah, let's talk about the Patreon show. So the logistics of this were for those of you watching who are on the Patreon, you already know. But for those of you who are eerily not on the Patreon and are watching this on YouTube, if you pledge anything on our Patreon, you get a digital invite to our once per year patron only all request live stream. And if you pledge $3 a month or more, you get an invite to come down here and party with us and attend live. And we did, including neighbors and us, we probably had like 40-ish people, 35, 40. And then online, we actually had, the view count said 15 to 20, but then people were sending me like photos and videos of like people having watch parties where they had like 15 of their friends over watching the stream.
What?
Wait, are you serious?
I'm serious. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's very flattering. Are you serious?
Yes, I have the video.
Parties just to
No,
watch
right?
us?
Yeah, and our superfan from Chicago made like little metal sea flags and made like party like little party games with my face on them. You throw beanbags in my mouth.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You should show us this stuff.
I will show you this stuff.
Wow.
Absolutely. So,
Go you, whoever you are.
Thanks, super fan from Chicago.
so we played for like 3.5 hours this
It wasn't
year.
quite that long. It was about 3, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 3.5, but after all the screwing around was over.
Yeah, I suppose. So yeah, I mean, the stream technically was up for like 4 hours, but there was probably about 20 minutes in the front and, you know, a couple minutes in the back. So, yeah, I thought it was a smashing success. What did you guys think?
I think it was a smashing success. It was fun to play the new stuff.
And this was Brett's first Patreon party ever.
I got drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Drums.
Yeah.
It was terrifying. It was good.
I did not get as drunk as last year,
I didn't either.
but overall I was pretty satisfied with my performance. Although I
Wasn't
haven't
until,
I haven't reviewed the film yet, so
It wasn't until like the last 3 or 4 songs that we did that I was like, oh yeah.
caught up with you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I didn't get as drunk as I did last year either, but I still like woke up puking. Which
What?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
breaks
not good.
breaks the cardinal rule of one of the 5 commandments for the Patreon party: thou shalt not puke. So
Well, it is your house, and you didn't make a mess. So.
that's true.
Didn't puke at the party.
Or,
I did not-
I
I
guess
did
you
not
can
puke
make
at
as
the
much
party.
of a mess as you want. You're responsible for it.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, we pulled out some. Whoa! We pulled out some deep cuts.
Oh, dude.
Oh my god! We pulled out some deep cuts. We played Cliffs of Desolation, which Brian won.
I was gonna
Requested.
I was gonna ask, did you ever get any feedback from him?
I
about
did not
that?
hear anything from Brian 1. Brian 1, aka Brian Cole, if you are watching, tell us what you thought. Did you like it? Was it good, bad?
I double checked it. Well, it seemed to go pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it being finished with it and being pleased with how I played it. So
Your metal horns didn't make it on the camera though.
they were above.
Yeah. So
That's okay.
2 out of 10.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah.
2 for the guitar solo. that's
8 out
like-
of 10 for execution, 2 out of 10 for style.
And that's why you have to come live to the Patreon party so that you can actually see these moments that you don't catch on camera. Because, camera can't be everywhere. I tried, but...
I think like last time was a fun like intimate show.
Mhm.
Just having people right in front of you. Some kids managed to make it in there somehow.
Yeah. We had some middle schoolers.
They had
Over.
earplugs, I guess.
Everyone did.
Dry ice is
We had to-
spewing up like little smoke rings.
Yeah.
Tiny.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
That's cool.
We had to-
talking
That's
about
awesome.
early songs, we also did Virgin
Really?
Vault, basically the first Lords of the Trident song ever.
Yep.
Robot's Revenge,
Robot's Revenge, yep.
Heart in the Fire.
Yeah, we had a lot of vintage tunes.
I didn't know those were here.
Yeah,
I
whoa.
want some of those.
Then we also played some new ones, including one we've never played live whatsoever, Haze 2.
Yeah. People really like Haze 2. I've given a lot of feedback.
Haze
on that
2, Figaro,
Burn It
Burn It
Down,
Down are all new cuts
Brothers of Pain.
Yeah.
one. Mhm.
that we've never performed live yet. So
People seem to really like Figaro, which was cool. I see you eyeing these up.
I already had like half the bag. So
What? Why
I'm
did
gonna-
you hide those from us?
Anyway,
I just put them right there. I didn't hide anything. They were
They were
hidden in plain
hidden by
sight.
the candy corn,
Yeah,
You looked at the candy corn and you went, ugh, and your eyes didn't go any further.
exactly.
Figaro is cool because we played it to like an orchestral backing track,
Mhm.
and it was only like the second time we ever tried it and it worked. So,
Yeah.
We literally tried it like once or twice.
Well, like
before the
that
concert,
same
that
night
day,
earlier,
right?
yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Before the Patreon show.
it worked.
Yeah, it was all good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
One of those like nights again, it was good vibes. I mean, like even some parts weren't as tight as ours. Like it was fun to sing everyone, and we got to hang out for a lot longer afterwards. And
Mm-hmm.
like last time, there was a lot of great food. People brought a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Sir Larry the Steadfast brought some amazing Scotch eggs, which were great. We missed Doug being there because he had a problem with his hernia, and he's actually going into surgery on January 8th. So
Oh no.
we wish you well, Doug. Hope things go okay. But yeah,
I think Sean made up for it with his dance marathon.
Oh my
though.
God.
Oh my god.
He
yeah.
didn't pass out. He made it through the whole time.
Yeah, I was very proud of Sean for not passing out 4 or 5 songs into the night. He actually, the whole time he was there, he was dancing.
You really wanted to play drums. Those last few songs.
Oh yeah.
Brett, I don't know what to do.
Come on, man.
You good?
Yep.
You good,
That's,
Sean?
yeah.
Love you, thank you.
Yeah.
You know.
That's the proper response. But speaking of Sean and drums, I just
Beardo?
went. Yeah, Beardo. Sean's working on a solo album called Beardo. Actually, it's called Beardo: Part 1: The Vulcan Funeral. So I went down to help him set things up, and I made a little mini documentary about my time with Beardo, called Beardo: The Birth of Genius, which is available on my private YouTube page and also on my Facebook page. So if you're friends with me, go check that out.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, we had a fun time. Oh, okay. So to jump off the list completely, like, I went up to hang out with Sean and Michelle, to help Sean with Beardo and with his drumming. With not his drumming, but his, like, recording his drums. But what I found out was, a couple of weeks in advance, was that Thor was going to be playing in Green Bay. And some of you out there, I can't remember if we talked about this in the podcast before or not, but Thor is this like late 70s, early 80s, like metal rock kind of porn star kind of guy. If you want to see what I'm talking about, and you want to see an old 70s penis that they forgot to pixelate out, that belongs to Thor, go to Netflix and type in "I am Thor."
I'm not bullshitting.
They pixelated out all the other penises that Thor of pictures of Thor with his junk out. Missed one. So sorry editors, I caught you. But yeah, got to go see Thor. So John Leibel from Dawn of Valor and Ted from Dawn of Valor as well. Maybe like, I don't know, a year, maybe, no, it was 2 years ago. I was in Minneapolis for a conference, and I called John up. I'm like, yo, I'm in town. You want to go get some drinks? He's like, sure. And so we're out getting drinks, and he's like, hey, man, while we're out, you want to come by the studio and lay down some guest vocal tracks on Metal Calling? And I'm like, yeah, I don't have to go back to the conference till 9 a.m. the next day, so let's make this happen. So we went to the studio. I did some vocals, and that was that. And about 6 months later, I think he called me up and he told me that the guy that was recording the vocals, like, they had a falling out, A, and B, his computer crashed and his hard drive died, and he didn't have any backups. He lost not only my vocals, but like the whole track, basically.
Valor.
And so John was, upset. He called me up maybe about, I don't know, a year to 9 months ago. And he's like, hey man, we're redoing Metal Calling for this new project I'm in. You wanna do guest vocals again? I'm like, yeah, sure. He's like, okay, I'll send you the track. I'm like, what's it called? He's like, it's called Thor. And I had no idea what Thor was, And I'm like, that's kind of a weird name for a band. I'm pretty sure that's already taken, Thor. And then I watched the documentary. Somebody tipped me off to the fact. He's like, oh my god, you did vocals for Thor? I'm like, yeah. What? And he's like, yo, you gotta watch the documentary. And so I watched the documentary, and I was like, oh man, I got involved with something. It was so anyway. So Thor is and now, so this guy Thor, he's like 60, 65. He used to like bend steel bars on stage, and in his teeth. And do all sorts of like crazy strongman tricks along with his band. And now he's like 60 or 65 or something. He doesn't do those anymore, but he's still out and touring. And so Ted and John are in his band, and they were playing Green Bay. So I went and saw them. And opening was A Sound of Thunder, which
These devils torn asunder.
Which is a band that I've been like friends with online for a long, long, long time, but never seen live. They're from Washington, D.C. If you haven't checked out A Sound of Thunder yet, you really should. They are absolutely fantastic. And I think of the, the power metal community in the U.S. is pretty small, and like most of us who are doing well or semi-well or are kind of in the top of the indie game, we all kind of know each other, or at least we know of each other, and yeah. They've got like 20,000 Facebook likes, and they just got they did a metal remake of the Catalonia anthem, and that's kind of blowing up right now. Well, apparently that got picked up in Catalonia and it went viral, and they like are being flown to Catalonia to like headline a giant metal festival. So it's super exciting for them.
I played with them twice in Otto Luna. Yep.
That old?
Yeah, they've been around a while. We played with them in the Twin Cities at a show called Flight of the Valkyries. It used to happen at Station 4. It was all female-fronted metal, so we played with them there. And then when Luna was on the Ed Guy tour in fall of 2009 when we played Richmond, Virginia. We played a club that's not open anymore called Jack's, and Sound of Thunder was the local opener for the show. So it was like Sound of Thunder, then Luna, then Epicurean, then Ed Guy.
That's cool.
Fun show, good time.
Yeah. So I got to meet them finally. They were awesome. Talking about some plans with us and them in the future, both ways. Maybe us going out there, them coming here. TBD. But yeah, check out A Sound of Thunder. They are really, really fun, really cool. They have a Kickstarter that is going on right now. I think until the middle of November. And right now their Kickstarter is at last time I checked, which was yesterday, it was at $44,000.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What was their goal?
$30,000.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so like, needless to say, they're pretty popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to do with that much money.
Right. What would we even do with $30,000?
Sports cars, I guess.
Yep.
Sports cars.
For all of us.
Build an even bigger merch box that won't fit in our current trailer, then have to buy an even bigger trailer.
Yep.
We
Yeah.
raised like 4,000 this time, right?
I think our top was 6,600.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Sound of Thunder, we're on your tails. We'll get there. Yeah.
Wow, that's
So yeah. So I saw them. They were super fun. Thor was really, really freaking fun. It was like, they called me up, of course, to do metal calling. But like the show itself was just like super fun. Michelle and I had this thing that we called Operation Thunderclap.
Oh, this is terrible.
Yeah, I got a headache.
Right. Yeah. You can't wear those for long. So Michelle and I have these things. Michelle started this thing, finger swiping, and then Michelle and I together started this thing called ghost tapping. So a finger swipe is where you go like that to someone. Yeah. And so.
Keeps fighting yours.
You guys look like.
I don't like that.
And then a ghost tap is where I'm not gonna ghost tap you. Is where you out in front of someone you go down in the crotch region. So like they're up on stage and you're like yes.
Like I'm gonna jump
And you have
balls.
to. Well, no, it's
Ghost
more
tap is,
it's
hey,
more
look
of a
over
it's
there.
more of a this,
Oh, okay.
right? And so.
Do you actually like touch the genital?
Oh no, God no! It's a ghost
Okay.
tap.
There's
Ghost
no like
tap.
sexual harassment.
It's not a tap tap.
It's the sexual harassment pat.
Right.
Mrs. No means no.
Yep. No, ghost tap. So yeah, and that's a spooky theme, so it works. You can't keep those on forever. So Operation Thunderclap was to finger swipe Thor himself. And both John and Ted were in on it. And Thor didn't know about the ghost tap, or the finger swipe, of course. And he, so after I came up and sang Metal Calling, I was getting off, and I turned to Ted to like give him a hug, and instead of a hug, he finger swiped me. And I was like, oh, and then I finger swiped him right back in this like perfect, him and then me. And Thor looks over, he's like, what the hell is that? He's like, oh, okay, well, But none other than Shonda Laurie had the best ghost tap of the entire night. Thor was wearing a codpiece, a giant codpiece,
Cracked codpiece.
and Shonda Laurie got his hand right up, almost touching that codpiece, and went whoop, and then he takes it and he sticks it in his back pocket, and he turns around and walks away like this. Yeah. So we're calling that a cod tap now when you put it in your back pocket.
So Operation Thunderclap was unsuccessful.
Unsuccessful, but honestly, because of the immensity of that cod tap, I feel like we didn't need to have Operation Thunderclap.
That sounds pretty great.
So that was a fun night. Yeah.
God taps and thunderclaps. That's how we roll.
So if you want to, I would recommend everybody out there, if you haven't seen it yet, go check out a Thor music video, any Thor music video. I think if you type in Thor music video, the first thing that comes up, unfortunately, is Thor worst music video ever made, which I'll probably play right up here. It's something. I'll just say, it's something. But you know what? When he played that song, everybody in the place knew that song. And we were singing along, and it was super fun. So that was a great show. ghost taps and finger swipes aplenty. It was fantastic. Yeah. Oh, Sound of Thunder played a theremin.
I saw that video.
It was crazy.
It was like in tune and everything.
I also wanted to ask you. You kept using the hashtag bars open. Was it like free bar that night or something? Or what did you mean by that?
Okay, so this is good. This is an old story, an old Lord story. So on the Midwest Metal Conquest tour, it was a 4-day tour. It was us, Minos, Dawn of Valor, and Unity.
Oh, I was there.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
So the idea is that we were all going to set up a show in our respective hometowns, and then everybody was going to kind of do their thing. Well, the first night, Unity could not, for the life of them, for some reason, set up a show in their hometown. So everybody's like, well, I guess we're gonna have to start the tour a day late, and I'm like, let me see what I can do. So we got a show up in Appleton, back when the Maritime Tavern was still open, and that was a super great first night to the first show. So when they came back to Madison, they all stayed with us, and this is back in the old house, not this house. And I've got my grandpa's old bar sign that you flip, and one side says bars open, one side says bars closed, and I have it so that it always says bars open. And John, when you came down the steps, if you looked straight up, that was one of the first things you saw. So he came down the steps, you're hanging out in the basement, he's like, bars open. I'm like, yeah, bars open. You want something? He's like, fuck yeah, bars open. and so, and then maybe a year later, I was at the Warriors Metal Fest in Ohio, and all of a sudden, I hear from way across the field, I hear, bars open! I turn around and it was John, running towards me full speed. Bars open! And I'm like, bars open! So that's kind of our greeting now.
Yes, we also saw John. We played at Club Amsterdam in St. Paul since the last podcast.
Yeah.
So we caught up with John that night too.
Yeah.
The bar was open for him that night.
The bar was open. Let's talk about that show. That was September 15th. That was the first show after Mad with Power, and we got to play with these guys. Green Death.
They were really good.
They were really solid.
Yep, we'd never met them before, and they were super fun guys.
Yeah, a lot of great, almost some Megadeth moments. Probably not fast thrashy, but just they had some great riffs.
Yeah.
And
drummer with the acrylic set and all the LEDs inside of it.
Yeah.
So cool.
He was quite good.
singer was good too. And the guitarist, this guest guitarist who he'd moonlight doing this, and then during the day is a garbage guy actually, and he was really talented. He had the greasy hair, yeah, and
That's really nickname in the garbage.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
and he was good. He's one of those guys that his solos were restrained, but on what the solos he played were just fit really well in the context of the songs.
Yeah.
And he had good chops.
It's some kind of sustaining doodad too.
Yeah, I think he had a Sustainiac.
Oh, he had a
built into his
Sustainiac.
guitar,
Oh.
which is how he was able to always hit.
Just for Phil Collins.
Well, he did a lot. He did a lot of hit a harmonic and pull it up, and and let it hang out up there. And if you have a Sustainiac in your guitar, that's infinitely easier to do.
Yeah.
But otherwise, if you don't have that, you hit a harmonic and maybe depending on where you're standing or whatever, how much gain you have, maybe 1 in 3 times it'll catch and keep ringing. Otherwise it'll go, and then just kind of fade off into nothing.
Imagine if it's one of the harder harmonics you do on a 3rd fret or 4th versus a 5th. But
Well, yeah, I mean, the harder, the higher the harmonic is, the greater the chance that it's going to choke off and not ring the way you want it to.
Yes, and so
Yeah.
he would have the harmonic dive on, pull it up, and be like, "Don't mix your recycling." We'd be like, "Whoa!"
That's exactly how it went down too. Yes.
I'm very serious about that.
Yep. My funny Green Death story was, I don't know, for some reason.
This is good.
For some reason, I was just in a really good mood that night. And so I was being extra helpful, Ty, you know, like we got all moved in, and Green Death says, "Oh, you're Green Death. Oh, man, great to meet. Oh, can I help you with? You know, I got an extra hand. I got.
Would you
I
look at that?
got anything to do? Can I just? You need any help? Can I help pull any? You know, and they were kind of giving me the like, no, we're cool. No, you know. And I was talking to them about, oh, well, you guys, you know, what do you do for social media? And are you on Patreon? And blah blah blah. Just kind of being chatty. And I kind of got the vibe that, you know, and this is probably, you know, warranted in a lot of situations. I got the vibe that their reaction towards us was kind of like, oh, another dumb local band, and, you know, we'll see if they're any good. I don't know, they probably won't be, kind of a thing. Because, you know, they're signed, they've played around a lot. They probably play.
They're a top tier band for sure.
I feel like there's like not a lot of in between. I feel like a lot of times we meet some bands that, let's say, are national bands, whatnot, and they'll either be really down to earth and friendly, or the complete opposite, and just be like, I don't want to deal with you.
Right. And I wouldn't say that Green Death was like 100% that, but at first I felt like, yeah, maybe they were a little tired, maybe they were just kind of, you know, didn't want to interact as much and stuff like that, or maybe they were kind of like, you know, hey, quit wasting my time, you know, kind of a thing. So we were backstage, we were getting changed, and they were backstage too, and they were kind of like giving us this look of like, costumes, you know, and we get up and we play, and I'll never forget this. We get backstage, and they're all like in a clump backstage, kind of like waiting, like holding their instruments, just sort of thing, and we're walking backstage, and the bassist Parker, he looks at me, he's like, dude, fuck you! Fuck you! Give me a hug! What the fuck? Fuck you! That was the friendliest fuck you I think I've ever had in my entire life.
Right.
He just kept saying it over. He's like, oh my, you guys are amazing. Fuck you! Oh, fuck you! So. That was fun. After that, they really opened up, and you know, they were talking about bringing us to Des Moines, and you know, having them come up and play Mad with Power, maybe, and yeah, stuff like that.
We don't know yet, right? But possible dates could be, you know, like in early next year, maybe.
For Mad with Power, or for that?
Oh, I'm sorry, playing
playing with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were talking about early next year. So yeah, we'll see where that's at. I actually also tapped them for possibly doing Meat and Metal. So Boss Meadery will be all about that. So we'll see if that goes through. That'd be really fun.
Also at that show we met After Time, is that what they're called?
After Time, which we're playing with tomorrow.
And we're playing with them tomorrow night at the North Star. Is it North Bar? North Star Bar.
Is that the female led?
Yep.
Yep.
There were
kind
two
of
bands with female led.
the younger symphonic metal one that went after us.
Oh, that's right. There were two.
So we're playing with them tomorrow night again. So
The first one with the female singer was also pretty decent.
Yeah, they were a very like sludgy...
kind of more doom metal.
Yeah, I don't think we knew what to expect, and they were good.
So
They had boobs on their merch.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
That's a, you know... that's...
man, boobs.
That's a, you know, that's a chancy play. You know, if you have boobs on your
really is.
on your stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a chancy play.
Bold move.
that's a bold move. You know, see how that.
I was going to say,
Yeah, it pans out for him.
I
Yeah.
found this great Imgur guide on drawing boobs. I'll send it to you sometime.
Okay. Good.
Someone knows this shit. I gotta tell you, they have a whole section on gravity, and if they're leaning forward,
Okay.
I'll say
All
that.
right. Good. Yeah. Please do send that to me. So yeah. Speaking of that, tomorrow and this weekend are probably gonna suck. In terms of our sleep schedules. Not in terms of the shows, just in terms of our... Because here's what we're doing tomorrow. So we're going up to Rochester, Minnesota, to the North Star Bar to hang out with Charles, play with After Time. And we're playing... We were headlining. We're now playing second. If we pack up and get everything loaded and we get out of there right away, like best case scenario, we're probably on the road by 1. And then the next day, we are opening this big festival in Peoria, Illinois, at 12:30 p.m. and it's a 6-hour difference. So, like, best case scenario, we drive back to Madison, we get 3-4 hours of sleep, we wake up, we drive down to Peoria, we load in, we play, and on 3-4 hours of sleep, and then, you know, collapse afterwards. And I'm going to stay for the rest of the fest. We are opening for bands such as Taiketo, which Aki showed to us before, and he's really excited.
I'm always a
for.
big fan of showing obscure 80 bands,
Yeah.
80s bands, and Makoto, Icon, Hardline, like,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of
Also,
great unknowns.
Enough's Enough is
It's like 10 Z's now.
Jack Russell's Great White, or is that a different night?
that's a
I
different
saw
night.
that.
Jack Russell's Great White.
Yeah, the band, the band that caused us so many problems.
Oh.
The ones that set the nightclub on
The
fire.
the ones that set the
Oh.
nightclub on fire, so
Yeah.
that every time, so that we can never ask someone if we can use pyro on stage. We just kind of do it.
Once Bitten, Twice Shy might be the worst song ever written.
And-
Is that by them?
Yes.
Shots fired.
But at the same time, I play in the cover band in Reloaded. I play Rock Me, and that song is significantly more enjoyable.
Oh.
So
I know that was them either.
But,
Yep.
no, there's some, decent names on this fest, so, yeah.
rock me, rock me, rock me out, on me through the night. You've never heard that one? Okay.
I don't think I have.
You would hear that on one of those like CD commercials with the text scrolling by.
Right.
And you only hear that
Hits
clip.
of the 80s.
Yeah.
Rock me. You know, lots of reverb.
It kind of sucks, but I think, like, we often make a lot of our merch sales at the very end of the night.
Yeah.
I think we're going to need to, like, when we play tomorrow, not in a rude way, of course, but just be like, hey, we gotta head out now, so if anyone wants
yeah.
my merch, like, because I know, like, a lot of times you really kind of come out in the black in that last half hour
Oh,
before leaving.
Yeah,
you know?
drunk
Yeah.
merch sales are like
Yeah.
40% of our
Well,
merch sales.
maybe we'll get that one lady who buys all of our glow-in-the-dark axes
Oh
again.
man,
Oh,
yeah,
we-
she was from Rochester.
And then also grabs my butt
Wasn't
and
she-
my
Weren't there
my-
some disabled old folks
my
on the
package.
field
Yeah.
trip?
Oh, she went around front too.
she was handsy.
She's the one that asked me, what, like, if the soap we sold
Not
would
to
be good on
belittle
skin
the
of a
whole
baby.
thing, but
Yeah.
hashtag me too.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
I know that's like supposed to be for just for the girls, but
Yeah.
me too. I got it.
Yep. Hashtag Sharon and Karen with the band.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So yeah. Hopefully everything goes okay. The headliner of the fest is Bullet Boys. Smooth Opinion. The weirdest way to say
What's the song?
sex.
That's their big hit.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've heard it.
Smooth Opinion. You know, it's like all up in your vagina. Yeah.
I don't think I know that one.
Yeah.
No.
Well, we'll play some Bullet Boys right here.
Well,
Oh.
your life is clearly not complete yet.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
See, Brent, what do you think of it now?
I love it.
Good.
I wish they were smooth up in me.
That could probably be arranged if you really want.
I mean, so these guys are probably gonna hit the road earlier in the fest, but Michelle and I are gonna be staying for the rest of the fest, and we're probably gonna like take take turns like napping. So I'll man the booth, she'll nap, and then we'll swap. So
It'll be fun. Michelle will be with us tomorrow too. Right?
yeah. And Michelle and I are staying with our good friends Inner Siege, who were at Mad with Power and in Madison a few times. Super excited to be staying with them, and they're playing right after us, which is going to be really fun. Actually, I think they're playing 2 after us, maybe, or 1 after us. So anyway, either way, it's going to be super fun. The fest has 6,000 tickets sold out.
They better all be there right when it starts.
Oh my gosh,
So
they
is this
better
indoor or outdoor?
be indoor. Yeah,
Wow.
it's going to be
6,000.
6,000. That's what they said. 6,000 tickets.
I wonder how big it. I mean, is the stage going to be like the size of the Summerfest stage we played that one time?
I honestly do not know. But
If a
yeah.
place can fit 6,000 people in it, it's gotta be a big stage.
Well,
Yeah, it's
we
gotta be
played to when we did Steel Panther. We played to what, about 1,200 that night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
So about 5 times that.
yeah, this has got to be freaking
If
huge.
we're early, but if even half of those people show up, that's a
Yeah.
shit pile of people.
even
a
if
huge
a
amount of
quarter of
people.
those people show up, I'd be super pumped.
Yeah, that would be on par with Steel Panther.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep my expectations low and say we'll be playing to like maybe 200, maybe 20. We'll see.
And we always put on a good show.
Somewhere
but
between 20 and 200.
Holy shit! I wish we wouldn't be so fucking tired for that show.
Yeah.
We're
It's
gonna
just
be
coffee.
So tired.
It's just
Oh
a
my
bad
God.
situation overall.
There is a great video going around right now of Dave Grohl in the studio.
Fresh
Fresh pots.
Yeah, fresh pots.
Fresh pots.
Yep.
Fresh pots. I've watched that like
I don't have a fucking problem. I don't have a fucking problem. There
Just
were fresh
damn
pots.
fresh pots!
I've watched that about a
Fresh
dozen times. That
pots!
video is so good. I love it.
That's old, dude.
Yeah.
That's from
Oh.
them Crooked Vultures recording.
Is
Oh,
it?
wow.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what's going
It's
on,
amazing.
but I still really like it. Fresh pot.
Fresh pot.
Yep.
Hey Dave, you want some more coffee? Yeah. Can you put out a fresh pot?
All right,
Good
so
stuff.
so that's coming up. Since it is, you know what? Before we
I don't know
get
what's
to the
going on.
spooky part of it, you know what? The people have spoken, ladies and gentlemen. Your favorite, the one you keep asking about, the one you keep demanding. The people have spoken, ladies and gentlemen. Quack, 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 quack. Maggie's cat picture of the month.
Yeah.
Maggie's cat picture of the month.
Oh,
Do it!
you think Quack is going to be like Brent's duck picture?
I'm
I
gonna
like
pull.
when their little butts, you can see them when they go into the water.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah. I like the butt wiggle no matter what species.
Are you
gonna be
Aki
able
sent
with
me
the,
a.
with the green screen be able to show
I'm just
it?
gonna put it on top of my face
Oh, okay.
or your face. Aki sent me one and he said it's a terrible two-fur. I'm gonna grab a beer.
two
Here, you guys
different ends.
pass that around.
So
That is
first,
solid.
That's graphic.
yeah, this first one is this great image of the jelly beans on the toes, and
Hockey, this looks inappropriate.
right. Oh my god!
Look where his hands are.
I never thought about that too. When like,
Oh.
when like the way that the images are juxtaposed on top of each other, it looks like
Aki's-
the other cat's looking at the other cat.
Aki's provocative
bits.
cat picture of
Oh wow! I'll
God.
have to put them like that. Like
Their
ooh.
eyes wide open. Anyway, but like, I love the jelly beans on kitty cats.
Oh, man, right?
There's even a
Aki's voyeur cat
subreddit.
pick of
I think
the
it's like Reddit.
Right.
I think it's like
Jelly bean toes.
reddit.com/r/ jelly bean toes, and those are like super
One less for
pristine
each
jelly beans.
Oh,
Yeah.
my stomach hurts.
They look so nice. And then the
No,
bottom
just eat a
one,
handful of
I
it.
love that cat's face, and the title for that one was
Tie.
Loki's face when he sees a fly. And
Mm.
I know your cat likes to jump up and attack flying insects and whatnot. And I just love the face there, and the light pink nose. Like, oh man,
It's a 10 out of 10 cat pick for sure.
yeah. Oh, when it's pink and wet, like that's the kind of nose I like.
Heyo.
Oh, you guys.
Anyway.
Can you bleep out
Get
that
outta
last part?
here.
I will bleep out that last
That's
part.
the kind of beep I like.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
Having the first image on top of the other did
Yeah.
make it look kind of
Pink
naughty.
and wet.
Mhm.
That's how I like them.
Yep. Pow.
Yeah.
Right in the kisser. Cool.
But yeah.
Wow, right in the kisser.
Hey, if you've
Oh.
got... Oh, go ahead, Aki.
No, continue.
I was going to say, hey, if you've got a cat picture that you think is worthy, you think even comes anywhere close to Aki's pristine cat picture of the month, email us, lordsofthetrident@gmail.com. Send in your cat pictures. Make them as provocative as you want. Aki's into that. He likes it pink and wet. You know, that's what he likes. So,
You
I
set
didn't
it
even
up.
think-
He knocked it down.
You know, I have a daily cat picture at work, and
Yeah.
I get very excited about like cold, wet noses and whatnot. I always want to boop them and whatnot.
oh yeah.
And I didn't even like a lot of times I don't even just like think through things. And I was like I was showing my coworkers. I like to huddle them. And I like to like be really serious, but then throw in a cat picture. I'll be like, and just a heads up, we have an alert on this. Be careful if you see this come up. Also, here's a daily cat picture. You can see the tail's very flippy. And like, and so, but I don't normally print it in color unless it's the weekend. Then it's like the special cat picture of the day. And so it's black and white, and I had this cat, and I was just like, oh, check this out. I was like, the nose black and white, but I'm like, I guarantee you, this is pink and wet, the best. And I was just like, and then like everyone's like giggling, and I was like, oh no, that's not what I meant.
But it is what you
You're all
said.
That
fired.
is exactly what you said.
But yeah. Complete side note before we get to the next topic.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was driving over here for this podcast, and I saw the darndest thing on my side. Those are Chalmers Jewelers, like car, like delivery car type thing. Like, no, I shit you not. Like, and
For
like,
when
for
your
people who don't live
jewelry
in
needs
Madison,
delivery.
for people who don't live in Madison, like they made like wedding rings,
Yeah.
and like the car was like a bunch of like shitty like, you know, 240p like images of like various wedding rings all over the car.
Oh God.
Yeah, it looked like absolute shit. And they're like,
Those are sponsorships.
you're like, make this forever or whatever. And so I saw that, and I thought it was really fucking hilarious. I was like, oh, of course, like, wedding ring delivery cars, of course. So someone can just be like, hey, I'm on a date. I think I'm just going to go ahead and ask out this girl I've seen for just 3 months and we've never even lived together. I just want to drop $3,000. I'm just going to... What am I going to do? All the wedding ring places are closed. I'll call this place. They're open until 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Hey, Chalmers, I'm at this Taco Bell. Can you deliver this wedding ring? And can I pay it in like 12 easy payments? Yeah, it's just...
Chalmers
that,
Jewelers in Moulton.
I just saw that. I was like, what the hell? Like, why would... Yeah.
Yep. I don't understand either. Hey, if you work for Chalmers Jewelers, Lords of Trident sponsorship. We'll fix your 240p crappy car. We'll get that into full HD, baby. Woo! And B, what's with that?
Well, no, I always find it funny when you see vehicles that have like their farthest thing from a delivery type of like business as you'd expect. Like it's as if you saw a vehicle that was like blah 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 patent company. And you're like,
Right.
So like we could be shooting a shit here and be like, of course, Velcro flying duck figurines or whatever. Someone better not patent this idea. I better call this number and
patent
someone comes
company.
over.
Yes. No. Send someone now. No. Right now. I will pay the extra $17.95. Send them now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Like. Anyway, there goes my random thought. Okay.
That's cool. All right. Now that we've gotten all of the randomness out of this area, this sanctimonious place, now it is time to get real spoopy. Because we're going to talk about favorite/recent horror movies and or media that you have succumbed to recently, or your favorite forever. I'm wording this poorly. So anyway, should we start? Let's start with Aki, because Aki always has good suggestions, good recommendations. Tell me, Aki. Oh, are you freezing those into dry ice?
Well, I accidentally did that before, and then I ate one of the M&Ms, and they were cold, and it was amazing.
Oh, dang. That's a good idea. Yeah. Okay, anyway,
wow.
Go ahead, Aki.
That's good football.
So, what's so funny? Initially, I was going to talk about favorite horror movie, but I realized we did this before, and I mentioned this thing, which is probably still my favorite horror film.
Yep.
And I remember Joe Scarpelli when he was here. He just, it's like, God damn it.
Yeah.
I'm Joe.
No, it's more like, I think everything sucks, and I'm gonna. That's more Joe.
Swipe right.
Swipe right.
Boy, it's getting harder and harder to find really good horror films, especially ones that have flown under my radar. I did finally just see Youre Next, which was really good. It was a home invasion horror film that was actually really pretty brutal. There's some pretty brutal deaths, which are great. It kind of takes an 80s tone, the latter third of the film, and I really recommend it. It's one of those films where the first 30 or 40 minutes is kind of boring and whatnot, and then when shit goes down, you're like, oh my god. And one thing, I know it sounds very random, but one thing I really liked with this film, I just watched it the other day, it juxtaposed a really terrible film. I start out by watching the Friday the 13th film I hadn't seen yet, Jason X.
The one in space?
Yeah. Really horrible, but there were a couple great moments. His first kill was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I say it, or should I? Oh my god, he takes this woman and he dunks her head, it's in the future, it's on a ship, in liquid nitrogen, kind of fits in with this, and then smashes her head onto a table, and half of her, her face falls off, and there's just a cavity where the brain would be.
Oh my god.
And it was bad but amusing. But I actually feel like that film actually had an amusing part. At one point they distract Jason to buy time for an escape by they have a hollow chamber and they turn it into they choose 80s camp setting, and two female campers appear and they like take off their top and then he goes to and they try like Jason gets distracted and kills them.
Nice.
And I thought that was like a great like breaking down the fourth wall type thing. Anyway, this film's way better. You're Next. But the part that I loved about it most is I feel like so many films, people wait till the other one finishes. You know what I mean? Like, someone's like, I'm saying my dialogue part, then Ty says his, and there's no interrupting.
Yeah.
And in this film, when
We really love interrupting.
when there's this
Just thinking
when there's
of
this
that.
family here, and someone and like immediately all hell's going on, someone gets killed and whatnot, they're all like interrupting. They're like, fuck, blah 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 blah, and someone's like on the floor crying in a fetal position, and I feel like that's a lot more realistic.
Sure.
Like, people freak out, and like, you know, it's kind of like the original George Romero film, Night of the Living Dead. Like, the girl in that film never recovers. Like, she is like useless because she's like in shock practically in that house. And to me, that's really realistic. Like, some people just break down in moments of crisis and can't do anything. But anyway, really recommend it. The lead heroine, she's like super hot and cute, but also super badass.
Good.
What is
Dry
that
ice
sound?
making weird noise.
Do you have more to like?
No, I used all of it. I
Oh,
would have
man.
gotten more, but sorry. So you know, I have a list of movies that I'm like. I think it's weird. I have a list of movies that I'm ready to see. One of the things that I'm really excited about actually is the new season of Stranger Things coming out tomorrow when we're gonna be on tour like dumb people instead of staying home and watching Netflix.
Did you hear Time Cop 1983 is going to do some of the music for it?
Oh
I
shit!
know.
Really? That's awesome.
Yes.
Good on him.
Yeah.
You know, same thing when I when we were at the theater last. I don't know what I can't remember what we were seeing, but the new Marvel thing with Thor and the Hulk. Avengers, yeah. When that came up, Magic Sword was a Magic Sword song that was on the trailer.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and I'm
Wow.
like, oh,
Yeah.
good job, guys.
They're
Good job,
getting-
Magic Sword.
They're getting a lot more publicity. I just noticed on Facebook today, both Time Cop 1983 and probably my favorite synthwave artist right now, FM84,
Yeah.
posted out they were featured in Metro Magazine, and I think FM84 too might end up being featured on in Stranger Things.
That's awesome.
It's really cool to see that.
Yeah. But you know, it's like it's one of those things where it's like when you see a band like I saw Magic Sword on a Tuesday with like 20 people in the Frequency, and they blew my mind. And then like 9 months later they're on a I was watching with 20 people in the Frequency, and I was front row, and I was like gave them a high five. And then 9 months later, I'm watching them, and like they're on a freaking trailer. It's so cool, when you have those moments. It's just really, really cool. And the synthwave stuff that Aki and I follows, and all of a sudden, like Starcadian was in an episode of Vice Principals on HBO, and I was like, God damn, Starcadian, way to go.
It is sometimes funny to see how long it takes for like things to become mainstream, and then when they do, like, it's just like, we knew about this 2 years ago.
Right, exactly. We've got our finger on the pulse, Aki and me.
Right?
Yeah. So anyway, I've got a list of things that I want to watch. I don't have too much in terms of actual movies recently that I watched, but last time we did a Spooky Cast, I don't think we did this, but did we talk about The Guest?
We did, briefly.
Yeah.
We did?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when I think I saw it and I recommended you, and that one's just so phenomenal.
Yeah. I highly recommend The Guest.
That's a good one to watch. Like, I feel like it's one that, like, you could watch with a date to and they wouldn't, like, be turned
yeah.
off. It's not like there's tons of gore.
Flew under, it was, I think it flew under a lot of people's radars, but it's a really, really great movie. There's another movie that I am chomping at the bit to watch right now called The Void. And it's like a John Carpenter-esque sort of like...
Lovecraft-inspired, too.
Yeah, Lovecraftian... Like, Lovecraft meets John Carpenter. And I'm really excited to see that one. I haven't seen it yet. I have it downloaded. I just haven't watched it yet. So I'm excited to see
Can we
that.
watch it together? Everyone want to see it, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've got a couple on my list. There's also a couple games that I really would like to play. Darkwood, is a game that actually is in my Steam shopping cart right now that I'm kind of itching to pull the trigger on. And then there was this game, The Evil Within.
They have a sequel now.
Yeah, and the thing is like, I heard very, very mixed reviews on The Evil Within, so I was kind of like, maybe I'll pass.
A lot of it was like the bugs, though. It wasn't like the game itself, which is really pretty solid.
But then I had a lot of people actually come back to me and say, The Evil Within is a really, really solid horror game. You should try it out. And so I'm like, well, okay.
I really want to hear your stories of fighting Safehead and being like, fuck.
But yeah, I mean, so I wish I had more. I'm trying to struggle to think like of what really good horror movies I've seen lately. There was this one, it was Russian or something, Croatian horror movie that I cannot remember the name of, but it's a bunch of people on a bus that essentially get sucked into hell, and they're on this interesting. I'll think what it is, and I'll put the title right here. And then, but I'd give it like I won't give it a thumbs up. I'll give it an A-OK.
Just another Tuesday for Shia LaBeouf.
There's something to be said about movies. I just love film as a medium.
Yeah.
And a film doesn't have to be amazing for me to enjoy it. Like, there's something to be said about a film that's enjoyable, but it's not necessarily that great.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Brent.
I don't think I've seen a scary movie since last Halloween, but I read Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but House of Leaves, if anyone's read that book, is actually pretty damn scary. Has anyone read that book?
No.
It's interesting. It's like this dude's in a house, and he like behind the bookcase is like this void, and he like explores it and finds crazy shit in there.
Huh.
But also like the text on the pages, as he like descends into the void and into madness, the text on the page actually like they make it into like different shapes and shit. So it's like
What's it called? That sounds really
House
great.
of Leaves.
House of Leaves.
Yeah, it's like one of the best books I've
It
ever
finds
read.
like a void behind
a bookshelf in a house that his family just moves into.
I love the sound of that.
It's seriously one of the best books I've ever read.
God,
The Simpsons lampoon that for one of the houses.
I was going to say
Treehouse of
Simpsons.
They
Homer 3D, right?
They did go into a void behind a bookshelf, and I think that's when it was that the 3D one.
Yeah. Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Could have been related.
Can I ask, is it a horror book or is it considered like a mystery?
I guess if I had to pick one genre, it'd be psychological thriller, but there are definitely scary parts.
There's also the Indian burial ground part where they're like, there's another dimension just hanging out on the wall. They're like, Dad, what's that? Oh. you throw a thing in there, and it pops back out.
I'll have to rewatch.
Don't throw your trash in our dimension.
I think something I'm actually kind of excited about is I love horror, and amongst other things, I love horror and sci-fi. That's probably my favorites, and I'm mostly a nonfiction reader, but I'm really excited to I want to read a horror book that's genuinely scary, because I love watching horror movies and being scared. But I've never read a book in my life, and partly because I've never really read a horror book or some H.P. Lovecraft or Poe,
Sure.
where I've read and been like, oh,
Right.
I would love that experience. I would love to feel that,
Sure.
Books are different because you have to press on yourself, whereas a movie will just keep happening to you.
Yeah.
Or books, you're like,
Yeah.
I better.
That's so funny. I was thinking different mediums and whatnot. And it would be really funny to be one word away from being scared. You know what I mean? And it'd be so funny. It'd be similarly if you had an erotic novel or whatnot, and we all porn as a medium, but just it's really fucking annoying when just when you're about to come it goes to the guy's face. Imagine if you're reading a book and you go to the next page.
There's that classic Aki left turn.
And then it has the guy saying something annoying. And you're like, God, no.
All right,
yeah.
You go next.
All right.
I'll just sit the next couple plays out.
As far as movies go, the most recent one I've watched is The Conjuring, which was pretty decent.
Oh, I love that. That's actually probably one of my favorite horror films in the last 10 years.
Super creepy.
Really scary.
But also, have you guys ever heard of The Cube?
Yeah.
I just saw
Yeah.
those 3. Well, the first 2 I saw. I fell asleep to the 3rd one.
The
But-
second cube is terrible, but cube 0 is actually pretty decent.
Cubed.
The first cube is pretty good. Second cube is
Horrible. Hypercube.
Yeah, well, they
very
just
bad.
like bring in the concept of
Yeah.
like, I don't know, like unworldly forces.
Right.
The third one's kind of a return to form,
Yeah.
but extremely depressing.
Going along with series, like TV series, the new American Horror Story Cult. It's pretty good. I've missed a couple of the last episodes, but it's about basically this cult, and they dress up as clowns and like go make these horrendous murders and like publicize them and stuff like that.
Have you seen all of the seasons of American Horror Story? Or just
There have
kind
been
of
a few
bits
that
and
I've missed.
I like the first one, and then the second one I was just like.
Which one is the second one?
Second one's like the insane asylum.
Yeah,
I
liked that one.
I got through like 2 episodes, and I was kind of like, nah, this isn't really
Yeah, I didn't hear
capturing me.
good things about the last season, but this season is really good. The one with the witches is really good as well.
Yeah, Dave keeps telling me to watch the one with the witches, but Dave like loves witches to death, so I feel like I was like, okay, Dave. Alright.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to finishing that.
That's a witch is supposed to be really good.
As far
I
as
haven't
the
seen it.
game, there's this new game on PlayStation got released called Hellblade. It's about this. It's kind of based in like Viking-esque times, and this woman loses her husband, and then she travels into the underworld to go like save and find him.
Cool.
And like,
Oh, is it the one with
Slicer.
the lady with the blue
Yeah.
face? Yeah.
I was maybe a little influenced when I started playing this game, and the opening scene scared the shit out of me. I was terrified.
Oh wow.
So
Interesting.
it's like you're like riding this boat down the river Styx, and like the scenery, the graphics are really amazing. Gameplay not as good as I was hoping, but
Mhm.
yeah, initial scare tactic is pretty good.
Cool.
So
All right. Last but not least, Brian.
Definitely least. I have not watched any scary anything in a long time. I have a wife who's averse to scary movies, so we don't really do them.
Well, you should join me and Aki
yeah.
for a scary time.
I know this is like to set this up. I'll try to do this quick. About 3 years ago, before I joined the band, I worked construction while I was waiting for my student clientele to build up. My construction days came to an end when I got hit in the head with a hammer, and it took 7 stitches to close my head up and the whole bit. Not that someone didn't come by and go like that, but a hammer fell off about 20 feet up and hit me in the head. Claw side down, of course.
you didn't have a hard one on.
No.
Safety first, Brian.
Yeah.
Thanks
Well,
so much.
anyway, fast forward to watching, and I know I'm already like over a season behind on this, but I'm watching the end of Walking Dead season 6. When at the end of that, and I'm just gonna say this because I don't. Okay, you're
I'm
still
not that
behind.
far, yeah.
All right. Well, you should plug your ears then.
Go, la, la, la,
So
la,
anyway,
la, la, la.
yeah, you get the camera's eye view of getting beat in the head, and that hit too close to home to me, because you hear it's from the perspective of, and you don't know who it is who's getting hit at the time, but you crack, and then you hear the crack, and then you hear this like really shrill, high pitched thing, and then the blood runs down. And like that all hit way, way too close to home to me because that was exactly what it was like getting beamed with a hammer.
Yeah.
And like I watched that and I'm like, I can't. This is fucking with me way too hard right now. Like I can't watch this anymore.
Right.
And I am still stalled out at the end of season 6 of Walking Dead. Still, and it's from that point of view, getting beaten to death with a bat in the head. I can't handle it.
Yep. I feel you on that.
Video game wise, Andrew and I have been playing Diablo 3. We've been going through that game kind of over and over and unlocking the stuff. That's horror-ish. Light horror, I suppose, but
Yeah.
enjoyable. That's about all I got.
I feel like I've heard, I was a Diablo 2 guy, but I never played 3, but I heard like after Blizzard released a lot of patches and then the Reaper's Souls expansion, that the game became a lot more solid. And that's like worth checking out.
We've played through. I think we're on our 4th playthrough of it now. And we keep because there's a bunch of different characters, and we're each kind of going through the characters. And it's not super deep, but for us, it's great. It's a couch, whatever you call that, where 2 people can just sit on the couch.
Couch
and
co-op.
Couch co-op. Thank you.
And it's really great for just the end of a day where you can just kind of button mash and beat shit up and kill stuff. It's for that it's great. And we have a blast with it. It's not super deep or anything like that, but we enjoy it. So good for us.
Speaking of couch co-op, I cannot recommend enough that everybody out there watching go pick up Cuphead. It's not horror. It's not related to any of this, but I just have to tell you, you have to get this game. It's $20. And it is absolutely freaking incredible. It is super hard. It is amazing couch co-op, and it's like a shoot 'em up game where it looks like a 1930s cartoon, and every single frame of animation in that entire game was drawn by hand. Whoa! And if for nothing else, it is worth $20 for just to see the art and to hear the music, because all the music is like big live jazz band old 1930s, jazz like.
It's supposed to be really hard. Have you beat it?
Oh God, no! It's really hard. Heidi and I are playing it together, and it's stupid hard. So so go pick up Cuphead.
I just want. Oh, cool. I just want to add something real quick. I'll be real quick. One, James Wan, the director of Conjuring. I just want to say I'm really impressed by him. I feel like he is one of the best horror masters these days. I mean, he did Insidious 1, 2, the original Saw before it started sucking.
Yeah.
Then Conjuring 1 and 2, which are both very good. And I feel like he has a really good sense of, when to show something and when to just create eerie atmosphere. And he really relies a lot more on practical effects than CGI, which I really appreciate. So, I really appreciate that. Only other thing I was going to say really quick, I'll spare everything, but I just saw Blade Runner, and it is.
Yes.
It's been over 72 hours, and I was just watching. I'm watching a modern classic in the making. This is going to be one of those films people talk about 20 years from now, and it is one of the best films I've ever seen. I think it's in my top 50, maybe top 25. It's so good. So I called my good friend Dan on the phone earlier today. Mm-hmm. And I told him at one point, we were just talking, shooting the shit, nothing related to films. And at one point I said, Dan, I need to tell you something. I'm like, I saw something. He's like, you saw Blade Runner 2049 and it's changed you. And I'm like, yes! And he's like, it's like the most amazing thing you've seen this year, hasn't it? And I'm like, yes! Oh my God! And we're just I feel different since seeing it. It is so amazing. Wow. That's all I want to say. I'm not even going to say anything else. Just, you have to see it. It's so amazing.
And he knew that because he read your Facebook post?
No, he's not on Facebook.
Oh.
That's the thing.
Okay.
He's not even on Facebook.
Spooky.
He just.
Whoa.
I mean, he's known me since third grade. I mean, we've been close friends forever. But it was just crazy. Anyway, I just
go see Blade Runner. Go pick up Cuphead. Also, if you haven't gone and picked up liquor for your crazy Halloween festivities, I got some recommendations for you. Get some Wheelhouse whiskey. Make yourself some horsehair butt plugs. Recipes in previous TRIDENTcasts. Go watch them all. If you're like, I don't like whiskey. I just like vodka. I like some Cosmos and fucking. Then go pick up some Rocker vodka. If you sound like that, it will cure you of that sound. You drink it and you go like, what's this Rocker vodka? Oh, I sound much better now. Yes. I think I shall fix my life. Quite. Yep. And if you don't like hard liquor at all, and you're like, I need to put some sort of alcohol in my system. Well, I got the perfect alcohol for you. Boss Mead. Boss Mead. Go pick up some Boss Mead. Lords of the Trident. Highly recommend the Hammer Smash Cherry, the Equinox, and of course the Magic Carpet Ride. And
Dirty carpet.
And I have a little bit of an announcement here on this TRIDENTcast. So we partnered up with Boss Mead to make the Mad with Power Mead. Blackcurrant, tamarind, cranberry, and wildflower honey all mashed together to make an amazing tart yet sweet, bubbly, effervescent masterpiece that invades your taste buds like a barbarian horde and finishes smooth like
a barbarian horde.
Like a barbarian horde.
Finishes smooth up in you.
Exactly. And Boss Mead, I can say it right here, right now.
Catchphrase.
Boss Mead will be bottling the Mad with Power Mead. So it will be at a grocery store near you if you're in the Madison area. You just look for the bottle with my big dumb face on the front.
Wait, is your face going to be on it?
Well, I assume our face is going to be on the front. Look for the bottle with our big dumb face on the front. Collective face.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Like a product or a face on it?
Well, I can't guarantee our faces are going to be on the front yet, but probably they will be. So, anyway, we're gonna work.
Wait and see.
We're gonna work that one out. But you will be able to drink it, and it's gonna be great. They went through like 4 or 5 kegs of it in like a week and a half.
Oh my
So it was very, very popular at the Mead Hall. So they're gonna do it again. Also, it will be on tap for the Mead Metal Fest coming up in January 2018,
Nice.
which we are headlining.
I think so, yeah.
I think it's the 6th or the 7th.
I think it's the 6th, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a deep cut TRIDENTCast.
Yeah. Hey, and if you say, "Oh man, I showed up this spooky cast expecting them to talk about," it is the 6th. I showed up this spooky cast expecting them to talk about 27 different scary movie titles that I haven't watched, and and now I've got nothing. This was a waste of time. Well, you know what? Go watch SpookyCast 2016, where we do talk about like 27 different movie titles, and they'll be all up on the screen, and then it won't be a waste of your time, or maybe it'll double waste your time, and that'll be so scary that you've lost so much time that you'd be like, you know what, it was worth it.
I'm pretty sure that's how that'll pan out.
Yeah. To wrap things up real quick, we are currently working on the next album right now. We are going to be setting up for recording right after these last 2 shows, tomorrow and Saturday. And we have pretty much everything written for the most part. We're working on one more song, and we're kind of smoothing out one of the 3 remaining songs that are kind of. I'd say we're still smoothing out the 2 out of the 3 remaining songs, and then 1 out of the 3 remaining songs I still need to do lyrics for. But for the most part, we've got way more than enough for an album. So we're going to be tracking. But we are currently tracking our acoustic. Yes, you heard that right. Acoustic album, which will be released month by month to the patrons on our Patreon. So if you want to get some sensual, some sexual, some amazing acoustic
Diddlies.
Smooth up in you.
If you want to get smooth up in you with the Lords of the Trident, if you have, yeah, exactly. If you have a fireplace in your house, there is no reason for you not to be on the Patreon. Because let me tell you, your
That's
lady,
a good qualifier.
yeah, your lady is sick to death of her being smooth up, or you being smooth up in her with like some smooth jazz.
You being smooth up in you.
Some Julian. She doesn't want any more Julian Lodge. She doesn't want any more. She doesn't want any more Kenny G. She doesn't want any more Michael Bolton. You know what she wants? She wants some acoustic metal. It guaranteed to
Another
put
good qualifier.
any woman in the mood, 100%. Matter of fact, I don't think they'll let Whole Foods play it over their loudspeakers because they might have. You know that commercial with the Axe body spray? That'll just be like the whole place
I know where you're going with this
of Whole
one.
Foods. So
Aki gets chased out of there by
that's right.
a horde
A horde of
50-something.
of natural, organic 50-something. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm this close to declaring Ty off the rocker.
So anyway,
He's heading that way.
if you want to get smooth up in somebody, join our Patreon. Join our Patreon today. $1 per month will get you all of the acoustic tracks, and you could pledge more. It'd be
Right.
awesome.
I'm gonna lob you this one. What are some things you better do if you're gonna prepare to track percussion or drums?
Oh yeah.
So there's a.
One of these days we're gonna get it. Actually, the same.
So what are some tips for getting good takes in the studio, or
preparing to record?
Practice with the metronome.
Okay.
For sure, that's the biggest one. I mean, I haven't done a ton of recording, but like for everything that I have done, like, I mean, obviously knowing the parts backwards and forwards, but like, I think having a predetermined idea of like fills and everything and how you're gonna transition between everything. But I don't know, definitely being rested, having a clear head, because once you're in the middle of that, your just brain goes into recording mode, and then you're just like, if you're weak-minded, it's gonna be a rough time. So.
You redo all of your drum heads before you record? Fresh heads or no?
It depends. Like most places either have a kit that they want to use because it's already set up, or what's tough with new drum heads is if you just put a fresh head on, it's gonna start changing immediately. Like you have to have a head that's kind of worn in a little bit. So if I like put a new set of heads on like a month before and played a few gigs and played practice on the kit for a while, then they'd probably be in decent shape to record.
Okay. So the answer would actually be no then, not brand new heads.
No.
You actually want them broken in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Slightly. I mean, you don't want them like overused.
Right,
have,
right.
Like, divots
You don't
and
want them
stuff,
dead
but
sounding, but
you just want them to kind of settle a little
like
bit
in the
and stuff
groove.
like that. Yeah.
And how many fresh pots?
Oh, dude, just all the fresh pots.
One after another.
Yep.
Fresh pots.
Fresh pots.
It's nice to have like a Keurig machine there, so then you can just
Fresh pot it.
fresh pot it all the time.
I was just going to say it's very interesting. We played at the annex for Madwood Power, or no, sorry, Regent Street place.
Yeah, that's why it's still the annex.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Regent Street.
Red zone.
That's a red zone.
That's right, okay. But we're in the basement and talking to Bill. I don't know if you guys were there at the time, but they were talking about...
Bill House?
Bill House. He was... Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dave's on your shirt. Great guitarist, by the way, but he was restringing his guitar with those yellow glow-in-the-dark strings, and I was telling him how we were going to start recording the album and whatnot. I got these new songs and whatnot, and I thought it was actually interesting what he said. He's like, oh man, I love the sound of strings when you first put them on, but he's like that super metallic sound. Yeah, he's like, it doesn't last very long. He's like, and if you like, record a few songs, takes a bunch of, and maybe that takes a bunch of takes, and you have to warm up and practice and all this stuff in between. He's like, you lose that sound really quickly, and it's like you can't keep that through the whole album, and unless you keep changing strings, which I think that's what they did. But I thought that was very interesting, and I think like having been putting a lot more hours in the guitar in the last year or so, it really is funny that when you change those guitar strings, that very metallic sound you get, it doesn't last that long. Like, it's really funny. After I feel like a few hours, I'm like, I feel the really metallic sound you get, at least like playing electric acoustically.
Yeah.
Like, that's gone. Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. I don't like that.
Yeah, okay.
I'm actually fine with that going away. I don't want that. I want my strings to not be slipping out of tune every 5 seconds, and I want them a little broken in. I like that consistency more.
Yeah,
if you want more metallic-y ching, turn your fucking treble up. I mean,
another thing with drums is to always have like multiple sounds there, like so you have like multiple different ride cymbals, multiple different hi-hats, multiple different snare drums to like fit, because you don't know exactly what it's going to sound like under the mic. So I've switched snare drums a couple times before.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, I never change my strings the day of a show. I always change my strings at least one day in advance, so that new tingy, shitty sound goes away by the time I'm ready to go on stage. So I guess it's all in the ear of the beholder, I guess.
Mm. Cool. Well, that's been You Better, You Better, You Brett. I guess final thoughts, gentlemen. Final spooky thoughts. Tell us your favorite one paragraph horror sentence.
Don't say it with me.
Wow.
Okay.
And
then
paragraph. A whole paragraph.
Well, I guess you don't have. It doesn't have to be. It can be like up to a paragraph. Can you think of anything really spooky up to a paragraph, Brent?
No.
I got one for you.
Oh yeah.
I got one for you.
And then, as he made it away from the campsite, after 17 hours of hiking, he realized that he had only brought his kit lens.
That's fucking terrifying.
Terrifying.
What's a kit lens?
So if you don't know, BrentDoesPhotos.org, you should try that.
BrentLeavesTheHouse.com.
BrentLeavesTheHouse.gov.
Yeah.
BrentGoesOutside.net.
The kit lens is like the shitty lens that comes with the camera.
It's like
So-
Brent Clark Photography, right? .com.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those, for sure. Yeah. All right.
You'll get there eventually.
I got one for Aki.
He woke up in a start. He was more rested than usual. Why, you may ask? Because all 3 of his alarms, although battery-powered, had all been set to PM instead of AM.
That is terrifying.
I do have 3 alarms.
I have like 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
You're so good
He
at this.
opened the horse trailer only to
Oh,
find
shit.
the horses had fallen out on the way on the freeway and were galloping around.
And they got hit by cars.
And they got hit by cars.
Yes!
Oh, that's
So
terrifying.
scary.
Well, it is scary, right?
I don't like horses.
Uh-huh. All right, Brian.
No.
Okay.
As he entered the bathroom, suddenly his heart skipped a beat as he turned on the bathroom light and realized that in his drunken stupor, he had cut off all of his hair and now looked like Bart Simpson.
There's no proof of that.
It's actually happened.
No proof of that whatsoever. Okay. And now for me.
So cold.
Ty called for rock and roll bedtime, and they turned the music up louder.
Send us your favorite spooky moments to lordsofthetrident@gmail.com, and we may just read them on the next podcast. So until next time, boils and ghouls, we'll see you in your nightmares.